Now reporting is the Albertville First Baptist Church. The Albertville First Baptist Church is now reporting.
I started looking at the three public service commissioners, and I looked at the first person, they were Republican. I looked at the second person, and they were Republican. And I looked at the third person, and they were Republican. And I said, well, there's no way in the world these people are going to allow these taxes and fees to stand, because Republicans don't put up with stuff like that. And then I watched that day, and not two, but all three voted not only to maintain those fees, but raise them. They were already the highest in the nation. What are you going to prove? But that's what they did. And it was at that point in time I said, I'm running. Coal doesn't want solar in its mix because it's going to cut them out financially. The power company doesn't want people to have this stuff because that financially cuts them. So we got two parties working together, pretty much. So no, Alabama Power can't give money to the public service commissioners, but their vendors can. The coal industry can. And that's a problem.
You can buy your public service commission. We're in a red state, okay? So a lot of us here have been made to believe that the Public Service Commission 1 is taking care of our best interests. They don't know what it is, but they're being told that these people are saving us money and everything else. Well, Alabama Power can save us a lot more money than they are, but we need a Public Service Commission that's going to hold them to task.
And Alabama Power controls 2/3 of the territory in Alabama. And so people who consume electricity have to go to them. It takes out any small businesses that could be a part of this. It takes out the hope for like renewable energy companies to come together and stuff. You know, it kind of takes that all away because Alabama Power controls most of the state. And then the other part is TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority in North Alabama. And that is a whole different can of worms. So it's like two monopolies are controlling the state.
The exact amount that you pay on your utility bill every single month is determined by those three elected representatives of the Public Service Commission. They are the ones that determine how much you get charged for every single kilowatt hour of juice that you purchase from Alabama Power. So when you look at your bill, it's yes, partly how much did you use, but also how much do they let the power company get away with? How much do they let them charge you? How much do they force the power company to help people save energy, not just waste it? That's a big part of the Public Service Commission's mandate in the state statute that authorizes them to even exist.
10 years ago, I had no idea what the Public Service Commission was or what they did. And 98% of people don't. I would say, hey, who did you vote for a Public Service Commission? And they look at me, because it would be like a month after the election. They go, what do you mean? I said, Public Service Commission. There were people you voted for in the Public Service Commission. And they look at you and they go, what are you talking about? I said, let me give you an example. One of the people running for a Public Service Commission was Twinkle Kavanaugh. Oh yeah, I know her. They know the name, but they have no idea what she ran for, what position she got because she won the election, what she did, what the Public Service Commission did, because she had the most money to put the most signs, and quite frankly, she had a pretty catchy name, Twinkle Twinkle Kavanaugh.
Twinkle Andrews Kavanaugh is the president. She's been on there probably since 2010. She gets a lot of money from the coal industry and always has. She basically is just going to do whatever her money tells her to do. And a lot of it is aligned with what the power company wants.
Money work.
So I thought to myself, okay, you've got two choices. You can either get you another job or you can figure out a way to cut expenses. Solar ads kept popping up, and I thought, well, that's interesting. So I thought, okay, let's give it a shot. Everything that I do is for self-consumption. I'm simply trying to minimize my power bill as much as I can because I use solar by day and battery by night. As long as I've got enough battery power, then I'm basically not buying anything from them. It's just better for me to do it, take care of myself, than it is to make money off of it.
There's 6 across the first one. It goes up, I think, 7. Well, the first 4 or 5 rows is one array, and the top 2 rows and the top 2 rows on the other side is a second array. My favorite part of the whole thing, this is the box that generates money. How much money do I make on my money? I'm making 4 cents on every 10 cents, or $4 on every $10, or every $400 on every $1,000. So I'm making a 40% profit margin.
There is a cost to have backup power if your solar panels are having a bad day. So say, for example, all of a sudden it starts raining. Well, this is all going to dry up. You know, it's going to go way down. My energy is going to be used more from the grid. And their argument is that.
The sun came up, well, it was a beautiful morning. Then all of a sudden the clouds started coming over. These are clouds, 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 clouds. And then a big set of storms came in that afternoon. And so it went down to here. I mean, it was dark, dark, dark. Then it came back up to here. And then this is, if you think about this as being that perfect bell curve, then it got really nice at the end of the day. And it came on down like that. So this is the difficulty that TVA likes to quote, having to learn how to deal with.
The facts are, nobody up here in North Alabama has to pay any fees for solar. There's not any in Georgia Power's District, there's not any in Mississippi Power's District, and there's not any in Florida Power and Light's District.
The solar tax in Alabama is a tax that anybody who has solar in Alabama Power's service territory, so if you're Birmingham, Montgomery, Mobile, or a lot of the rural areas in between, and you go solar and you connect your system to the grid, you're going to be taxed roughly half of what you would make.
They say if you put a solar system on your house, you're going to pay us $5 per kilowatt capacity per month. Well, what they basically said is, yeah, you can grow tomatoes, and you have to pay us 50 cents a tomato to grow a tomato, and then you can sell it for 25 cents. And so, would you grow tomatoes? No, you wouldn't grow tomatoes. You'd say, well, hold it, but that's my tomato. Why do you get as much money for my tomato as I can get?
Well, now that I have homegrown tomatoes, Publix or Walmart or whatever is going to start charging me a tax for all the tomatoes that I no longer buy from them. We naturally would say, hey, that's ridiculous. But that's precisely what is happening here with solar in Alabama. And so it is an extremely discriminatory and regressive tax scheme to protect one of the wealthiest companies in Alabama, and that's Alabama Power.
Every year we get a little closer into getting support to the people who think the Public Service Commission is a necessary agency that should be brought to bear to make sure that we, the people, are truly not told that we are being taken care of, but we, the people, are taken care of with a little bit more renewable energy.
Get to know your Public Service Commission. Let me say that again. Get to know your Public Service Commission. Hey, they said the third time's the charm, so I'll say it one more time just to make it a 3. Get to know your Public Service Commission. If you don't have a Public Service Commission, you may have a Public Utility Commission. If you don't have a Public Utility Commission, you may have an electric co-op board. Those decisions have greater consequences. They have greater impact, not just in your household, but in society as well. And if we can correct that system, we can correct a great many ills that we face in this society.
The final box, Buck Snort Community Center, has now arrived.
He just likes to say that.
It's going to be basically, as far as solar is concerned, it's going to be back to the drawing board. At this point in time, I'm a little disappointed, but not surprised. I mean, you have to look at it. It's a bought and paid for election.
Good morning. Today is July the 12th of 2022, and this is our regularly scheduled monthly meeting of the Alabama Public Service Commission. Let me introduce my colleagues. To my right is Commissioner Jeremy H. Oden. To my left is Commissioner Chris Chip Beaker Jr. In place 2, I am Twinkle Andrews Kavanaugh, President of the Commission.
Y'all, if you would, join me in prayer. God, we just ask a blessing on these commissioners and the work that they do. They are truly public servants. We not only ask a special blessing for their willingness to be able to serve God, but give them guidance and discernment in the decisions that come before them, not only today, but as what they will face in the future. We ask all this in your precious name. Amen.
All right. Interim energy cost recovery factor of 1.960 cents per kilowatt hour be increased to 2.557 cents per kilowatt hour for the billing months of August 2022 through December 2024.
So moved.
Second.
They have set up a system to rob us of the wealth that could be harnessed if we only were community. So it's important, it's imperative that we get to know our Public Service Commission, our local utilities, those who make the decisions over what we pay and how much we pay it.
Right now, you're only allowed to buy power from the utility company, Alabama Power, and we think that you should be able to buy power from whoever is going to be able to give you the best deal. Third-party solar basically is, think about like kind of renting or leasing a vehicle or your roof space. Right now, if you want to buy solar, you have to go buy it yourself, put it on your property, your land, use it, or maybe you can sell some to the grid, right? Well, a lot of people don't or can't afford to do that up front, and so they need help. And usually what happens is some other company or entity will say, hey, just let me use your roof, let me use your property, I'll put this here, and then you can buy the product from me, and then basically that's what happens, right? So a third party, not you, some other third party like a solar company, owns the asset, and then you pay them a little bit every month. And so that's basically what we're trying to legalize here in Alabama.
So it really works out for all three parties because the contractor is able to install a project, that way creating jobs for the community and keeping cash flowing for their business. The third party owner, they're able to mitigate some of their tax liabilities, they're able to get nice cash flow coming in from the payments from the PPA, and they know they're helping out an organization reducing their electricity bills and having clean energy on their facility. So it's a win-win proposition across the board. Georgia is trying to do something so that it could be the best place to do business 8 years in a row, baby. Woo! My name is Jonelle Carroll Menifee, Managing Partner of Solar Time USA LLC.
My name is Carol Menifee. I am the Office Manager of Solar Time USA LLC.
Here in the U.S., overseas, we're in the process of closing some good projects in Botswana, microgrid project in Sierra Leone, and some microgrid projects in Kenya. and we're in the process of developing some PPA projects for school systems.
PPA is power purchase agreement. It's kind of another way to say third-party ownership in many cases. It just means that you have an agreement with somebody or some other company to buy power. And that's currently what is kind of murky or maybe illegal in Alabama that we're trying to fix. You want to make it fully allowable and legal to enter into power purchase agreements with whoever.
I became interested in solar because I felt like the solar could help rebuild this community. I'm Stan Cooks. My friends call me Chili, so you all can call me Chili.
We have about 20 acres of land here. This is somewhere that my family would like to give back to the community here. This area, we're going to start off with an electric charging station, some food that you can purchase while you're charging up your electric cars right here behind the church. And then, along the way there will be, of course, rows and rows of solar panels as well as farming.
Little benches and farming.
We'd love to work with the school board and get these buses under solar panels and probably much more efficient for the community.
And that'll save community money, save the school system money, save everybody, taxpayers money. We have to get blessings from the commission. We have to get blessings from the city.
The mayor.
The mayor. We have to get their blessings before we can do this.
We're trying to pass what's known as an energy freedom bill, and essentially what that does is it increases access, expands access to more Alabamians. Right now, low-income Alabamians who don't have taxable, pay federal taxes every year, they can't take advantage of the federal tax incentives that are available for solar. Same thing for school districts and nonprofits, churches, things like that. We need those folks are doing critical work in our communities, and we want them to be able to have access. So energy freedom legislation that we're trying to push will fix that, give them an opportunity to access solar energy that's affordable and helps them save money.
And it's always good to be the engine rather than chasing the caboose. So we want Union Springs, USA 36089 to be number one. The first to do all of this stuff. And, and Alabama's gonna catch up. I have faith in Alabama, and I know we're gonna catch up because we don't have a choice.
So if Georgia can do it, then Alabama can do it. Why is not Alabama doing it? That is the core and the crux of the matter. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on my solar panels now. You get hurt, you're gonna get bit by some snakes or something.
I grew up in Alabama. I grew up saying thank God for Mississippi because we were 49th and everything, and Mississippi was 50th. So we appreciate them bringing up the rear end, but it's not the case anymore when it comes to renewable energy. Like they're over there in Mississippi kicking our butts. So as a native Alabamian, that hurts my feelings not to be able to say thank God for Mississippi.
And Mississippi took a couple of really interesting steps yesterday where they are now offering rebates, especially to low-income individuals to go solar. They've locked in pretty healthy compensation for folks that are 250% or below of the state's poverty line. And so they have just taken a series of steps and rules they passed yesterday to really make sure that everybody in Mississippi can access renewable energy. Unfortunately, we're not seeing that type of activity in Alabama.
The reason why I got so heavily involved in this is because I think that this is our mandate. Our mandate as Christians is to care for community, is to care for the cosmos, or to care for the earth. If we advocate for renewable energy, we're not just advocating for solar panels. We're not just advocating for wind. We're advocating for God's care of God's creation.
We have all the solutions we need, we just have to have the willpower to do it. And by we, I mean specifically the government officials, the Public Service Commission, those who make decisions at Southern Company and Alabama Power. They need to have the willpower because the people already have it. Everyone I talk to is excited about the thought of renewable energy, even if they can't afford it themselves.
The Public Service Commission is a creation of the legislature. So it only derives its authority from the legislature. And if the legislature and the folks in the House and the Senate don't think that the Public Service Commission is doing a good service to the people of Alabama, it can take matters into its own hand and say, listen guys, y'all aren't doing a good job, or you're not getting the things done that we want you to do. And it can pass laws like energy freedom, or it could pass other laws that direct the Public Service Commission to do very specific things, like pass rules for net metering like you saw in Mississippi, or pass energy freedom legislation, or force the Public Service Commission to have open and transparent hearings and processes for how they determine how they're going to generate electricity and things like that. So there's a gazillion different ways that it could happen, but the PSC is not the end-all be-all. Frankly, the legislature is, and it's up to them to determine whether or not they're going to hold the PSC accountable, and we also vote for those folks, right? So if you care about energy issues, yes, you can vote for the PSC, but you can also take those issues directly to your own legislator and say, all right, this is not cutting it, and you need to intervene.
But we have to have joy
You
with
got
us.
to exercise your joy, and the reason you exercise your joy is because it's like punching them in their face. Like you said
gotta laugh at
earlier,
them.
When you laugh at your enemy, it takes away their power. When I can rejoice, when you trying to give me your worst, and I can rejoice still, you don't know what to do with me. You don't know what to do with me. So hey, throw a party, have a ball, man. Have a ball.
Taxing the sun, robbing without a gun. Oh, what fun to be taxing the sun. This earth could die, I don't mind. From Baldwin to Jackson, our coal shines bright. And I think I kept a good eye on the bottom line. Won't be around come reckoning time. Taxing the sun, robbing without a gun. Oh, what fun to be taxing the sun. All right, taxing the sun, robbing without a gun. Oh, what fun to be taxing the sun. Oh, what fun to be taxing the sun. Oh, what fun to be taxing the sun. Oh, what fun to be taxing the sun.